What up, guys? That Comic Awesome here, doing another review, doing Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, number 300. And unfortunately, I got bit by the hype monster on this. I've really been enjoying the Spectacular Spider-Man run. I've been keeping up with it ever since it turned to the legacy numbering. I think Chip Zdarsky's been doing a really good job. And I got bit by the hype monster. I kept seeing the ads for this. One, I love this cover. I think it's pretty badass. And it was just okay. There was a lot to it. And I think, and I'm fingers crossed on this, this does a good job of tying up a lot of loose ends from the start of the run up until now. I think it kind of closes that chapter. I think what'll happen is 301 will be a much fresher start, if you will, with a new threat that is kind of looming. But yeah, again, there were some things that were convenient, like some conveniently placed plot, some odd timing, and the pacing was just very weird to me. The story was good. There were little nitpicky things in the book that again I had some little minor gripes with. So the story thus far in this run, the Tinkerer went missing. Obviously, the Tinkerer supplies the supervillains with all of their neat little gadgets and tech. Meanwhile, the Mason, who has been helping the superheroes get all of their gadgets and tech since S.H.I.E.L.D. has gone, has kind of been helping Spider-Man fight this S.H.I.E.L.D.-esque organization called Greyblade. They are after Teresa Parker, who could or could not be Spider-Man or Peter's sister. As it turns out, Mason was actually the Tinkerer the entire time. I know, plot twist. But another interesting thing was the Tinkerer was giving these phones out to all the supervillains and pretty much spreading them around the world, that had his custom Tinkerer AI on it. So that's kind of when we get into this issue. And kind of the gist of this issue is the Tinkerer's plans are kind of realized. The grand scheme of things was he was trying to attract these AI-based aliens to come to Earth, because he knew their protocol was if there was AI developed by a society and that AI was enslaved, then these aliens would come, liberate the AI, and destroy the civilization. So that's what he was hoping to do, was kind of create this like false positive of this enslaved AI, so that these machines would come and pretty much destroy the Earth, and he would leave with them. That's what he hoped. So let's kind of get in. So we kind of jump in, and once again, I hate this page. I assume this is Nick Lowe. This is the dumbest thing in the world. Please, please, please change this catch-up page. I hate it. This is like the worst thing about this book. So at the end, Spider-Man was crushed, and this is what I find funny here. So he has these villains around him. He's talking about how he's going to die. So look at the positioning here, right? And then, Shocker's like, normally I don't like killing people, but often he was going to make us legendary. So he's holding his left arm out, and I'm going to show you some proportions. He's holding his left arm out. He gets shot in the right side of his left arm, and he's facing Spider-Man. So I'm going to JFK this. You're going to have to be standing over here to shoot him in that way. But then if you look, Hawkeye is standing over here, and now, you know, Shocker is kind of like turned in, you know, the other direction. So how did Hawkeye shoot an arrow to come around and hit this side of Shocker's wrist? Again, that's just something I noticed, and like when I noticed it, it was like a hangnail. Like I couldn't stop realizing it. Anyway, so you kind of get this good fight, and the art in here is hit or miss. Sometimes it looks really good, sometimes it doesn't. So all of the tech for the superheroes has gone dead. So Black Panther's without his suit. Hawkeye makes mention that he only has regular arrows. And Ironheart has been completely disabled. And again, like, so you gotta get some, like here looks awesome. And a lot of this, I mean, this is a thick book, is, I would say, filler. So I'm going to kind of skip some things to get to the good stuff and not really harp on dialogue. There are some little cheesy bits of dialogue, but it is what it is. Like this to me, and again, maybe I just being an idiot. So I went dut, 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 dut. But the way it should be read is dut, 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 dut. And the only way I realized that was she's holding this scarf with two hands, and then she's holding it with one. I don't know. But like, you know, if you read it this way, it's like, he's like, you're just a kid without a robo-suit. Go and hide. Spidey's orders. I get it. I do. But I'm here to help people. ... I know that look. You know, I had a lot of those looks when I was your age. There's no stopping you. And he's like, so it's like, at this point, so she's already told him he's not going to, or she's not going to wait or run and hide. There's no look about it. So again, this dialogue obviously happens before that. So this is where you get probably some of the best art. And not on this page, but I want to kind of lead up to it. So back in the lab, the Tinker's lab is raided by Greyblade, who the Tinker kind of double-crossed. And then you get, you know, he's in a giant robot suit, and he's like, you know, now that I have, you know, all the information, you can die. And then you get this awesome scene of Spider-Man just coming down through the roof with this car. And you got the shadows. Again, this epic scene. And even he looks awesome right there. And then Jonah's like, that's my car. So we're going to kind of power through. But like, so this is where his plan kind of gets wrapped up. And you kind of see here, once all of the Tinker's computer was off, all the heroes' tech came back on. But as soon as that happened, this alien ship kind of came out of nowhere. And this is where I kind of gave a little like, now we're getting into, I think maybe this story could have sat in the oven for another like week or two. So Falcon is just like, well, we'll figure out, I'll figure out whether they're bad or good by going up to them. And he gets blasted. So imagine you're in the city and there's this giant ship and these drones are already kind of dropping out of it. And then they take the time to go back to like Greyblade's facility and look at the Tinkerer's notes to figure out like what he knows. It's like, what are you doing? Like, the city is under attack. And then you kind of, so then of course you have like a Doom bot, and it's like, I am Doom, but then of course it's not the actual Doctor Doom, and Doom does show up, which Chip Zdarsky hands down writes one of the best Dooms ever. Like, I think, like, I don't know if he, like, I've never heard Chip Zdarsky like talk, but I think like deep down he has like this like inner snarky asshole that like this, like, that's what he channels for Doom, because it's perfect. So, and this is where you have to roll your eyes. So there's this, Doom pretty much being Doom. He's like, I know what this is. He's like, I've learned about this AI on my journeys. He's like, wow, you could have given us a heads up. He's like, I'm done here. Doom will solve the problem. Do what you do best, illegally detain muggers, which I kind of laughed at that, because that's what superheroes do. They have no legal right to detain people. But then Spidey says, wait, I have an answer for all of this. Just tell me, do you have a time machine? That's the last little bit I'm going to show of this. But then you kind of give like a little like, they're about to introduce time travel. Like, come on. Like, this was supposed to be like this, like the serious kind of more down to earth Spider-Man book. Again, a return to like the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And now we're introducing time travel. So I want to skip. After the book, they pretty much have all of the covers of all 300 issues, which is, pretty awesome. But then there's this really funny little post-credits scene with Black Cat where they're talking about, and I don't know if this has something to be tied in, or if this is kind of like the annual where there's just a little bit of a separate story happening. But she, this guy's talking about selling one of her rings, and she's like, no, I'm never going to sell this ring. And, it's funny because Spider-Man catches her, and she's like, I don't know what it is, if you enjoy chasing me, or I just do this so you chase me, but, will you marry me? And it's like, oh, which again, I like that this picture is amazing. But then she just ends up slashing his legs and running away. And he's like, my legs, my feelings. So yeah, again, was it good? Yes. Again, I bought the hype. I bought it hardcore, hook, line, and sinker. It definitely was not the hype, the book that I thought it would be. But I'm still very interested to see where it's going. I definitely like the way Chip is writing Spider-Man right now, currently better than Dan Slott, but that is also getting remedied. So yeah, that's Spider-Man, or Spectacular Spider-Man 300. Subscribe over here, watch some more videos, hit me up in the comments, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you next time.